What's up, it's Andre, and it's time for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, episode 5 on Disney+. There will definitely be spoilers in this video about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You have been warned. Spoilers. When we last left off, John Walker killed a man with a shield, and so he's run off. He's feeling really guilty about it, but then you can see how that super soldier serum is like a drug just taking over his mind, and so he eventually just goes, hey, back to work. Sam and Bucky confront him and was like, man, you know you did wrong. Give us the shield. Let's chill out. And then John Walker's like, I see what this is all about. You just want the shield. People always try to take it from me. I especially love when John Walker was like, you don't want to do this. And Bucky was like, yeah, we do. Because Sam was trying to talk him down, but Bucky was like, nah, I think he wants to fight and I'm ready for it. So let's do this. And they do this. They go off. This fighting sequence is so awesome. Sam, Bucky, John Walker going against each other. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier and the Party City Cap. Pap, 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 pap. You got one dude getting hit over here, then someone comes over there, and then Falcon flies up in the air over there. Oh my God, it's so good. And then John Walker the whole time being all manipulating while he's fighting him. He's fighting Bucky being like, why are you making me do this to you? And he's telling Sam, we could have been a team. I'm like, all right, man, did you just turn on the gaslight here? But man, John Walker gets Sam at one point. Sam tries to fly away with them wings, and John Walker was like, nah, get back down here. I'm a super soldier now. And just gets on top of Sam, is like choking him, and he's just like, I am Captain America. And then rips the wings off. Just completely barehanded, just rah. It's like, damn. And of course, trying to go for that final smash, shield in hand. I was like, not again, not again. But of course, Bucky stops them. I especially love the part where one of them picked up John Walker, the other one had the shield, and they ran him into the shield and knocked him out. Then they all fell down. Oh my gosh, that whole sequence, that was movie quality right there. Woo! Bucky gets up, picks up the shield, and then drops it right beside Sam. Just gives him that look like, told you that's why you should have had that shield. And this all happens before the title shows up. Sam now has the shield in his possession. He reunites with Torres, and they're talking about what they should do next because Karli and the Flag Smashers, he knows they're going to try to do something else after all of this. But Torres is like, look, we ain't got no information right now. Just chill out. We won't do something until we need to do something. And then he looks at them wings like, dude, what happened to your wings? And then Falcon's just like, take these broken wings. He's just like, keep them. I don't need them no more. And I was like, oh, you giving your wings to Torres? Oh, are we getting a new Falcon right here? Ooh. Of course, John Walker has to go back home and be put on trial for what he's done as Captain America. And they told him like, hey man, look, you just can't be the captain no more. We saw what you did. We got it all on camera. And John's like, but I did what you said. And he's like, I don't know you. Who is this guy? Do we know him? They claim to go lenient on him because of his great past, but they're like, you're stripped of the Captain America title. You can't be Captain America no more. You can't talk about being Captain America no more. And on top of that, they're like, all your benefits, gone. No benefits, no retirement, no nothing. And that's us being nice to you because of what you did. And Walker is like, but I am Captain America. And they're like, not anymore. Gavel. As much as I make fun of Party City Cap, I gotta say, there's something he says in here that I was like, I kind of agree with him. Because he's like, look, man, I'm a soldier. I did everything you trained me to do. I did everything you said. You built me. You made this. And I was like, kind of, because that's kind of going back to what he was talking about earlier with Lemar, rest in peace, about Afghanistan. It's like, yeah, y'all gave me all these awards and medals for my work, but y'all know we did some shady stuff to get that work done. And now that you saw that shady stuff in 4K, you're like, oh, well, you're stripped from the title. He's like, y'all know what's up. Of course, he's upset. And he's even talking to his wife, who's like, glad to be back since episode 2. They just have no idea what it means to be Captain America, how hard it is to be Captain America. And he's all sad and crying. And then we hear some boots walking. And I'm like, oh, what's going on? And we see them boots. I'm like, who's this lady walking up in here? Then we do that pan up. And I was like, oh, who is this? Who is this? Get me ready. What's going on? And boy, them shades come off. Julia Louis-Dreyfus just shows up in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm like, what? Elaine up in this? Okay, now we got Julia Louis-Dreyfus. We already got Coulson up in here. Is this a new adventures of old Christine? Is it now canon with the Marvel Cinematic Universe? But yeah, Julia Louis-Dreyfus shows up, introduces herself to John Walker as Countess Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, Princess Angelina Contessa Luisa Francesca Banana Betta Bobresca the third. I love you if you get that reference. But we'll call her Val. Don't call her Val to her face, but you can call her Val otherwise. But yeah, she talks to John Walker. It's like, hey man, I saw what you did and I like what you did. It's the second smartest thing you've ever done. The first smartest thing you'll ever do is answer the phone when I call you. I love that she also sits in between John Walker and his wife, and she's asking questions. She's like, here's a card, sweetie. The grown folks are talking. But eventually she's all like, you got a lovely wife here. Hey, how you doing? So anyway, as I was saying, and she even tells John Walker too, like, don't worry about them bugging you about that shield. The shield don't really belong to them anyway. It's kind of a legal gray area. I'm like, Hail Hydra. So of course the question is, who is Valentina and why is she trying to recruit John Walker? Now, obviously we could be like, that's the power broker, but I feel like whatever she is, it's something big scale. I feel like that this is a, let's say, anti-Nick Fury approach to rounding up a team. You know how Nick Fury got all the Avengers? I think she's playing that opposite route of, I'm trying to get a team together of people who don't want to be Avengers and then maybe have to fight the Avengers if we need to. Now, the comic book people are going to know more about this than I am. I'm just looking at the info I found online. But in the comics, Valentina was a SHIELD agent, even a little love interest for Nick Fury there. It was revealed that she was with Hydra as a mole. There's also a character in the Marvel comics called Madam Hydra. Now, multiple people have had that title throughout the course of Marvel history, but Valentina is one of those people who at one point was Madam Hydra, according to the Marvel Wikipedias. But I feel like she is some main part because you don't bring Julia Louis-Dreyfus into this without wanting to use her in some major way. And there's a Vanity Fair article that came out right after this episode premiered. And in that article, it mentions that Julia Louis-Dreyfus's character in this was actually supposed to be seen first in the Black Widow movie. But of course, that movie got delayed. This came out first, so now we're seeing her first here. Don't know if that means that she still will end up in Black Widow, but either way, it's proving that there is definitely some big plans for her character. I don't think this is the last we are seeing of her. The Flag Smashers, or what's left of them, reconvene. A lot of their places got raided and a lot of people were taken away, so they're grouping together whoever they got left. But of course, they still have people who want to help them out all over the world. Karli is completely upset. She's like, how many of us do they have to jail or they have to kill before they listen to us in this goddamn world? That's it. We're gonna do this. We're gonna go crazy right now. I'm going off. We cut to Sokovia where Zemo is paying his respects at the Sokovia Memorial and Bucky tracks him down. Zemo's like, I was wondering when you would find me here. Karli is going to get worse. You know what you have to do. There's only one way to stop her. And Bucky's like, we're gonna do things our own way. And then he pulls a gun out and Zemo's like, oh, okay, I remember this. I did this to myself once. He got that gun in Zemo's face. Zemo's just ready for it. And then Bucky's like, click. I got you. Bullets in my other hand. I ain't killing you, but hey, Dora Milaje, what's up? And they're like, hey, how's it going? Come on with us, Zemo. And I love the part where Zemo was like, I did you the favor of crossing my name out of your book. I never had any grudge against you. I knew you were just a soldier. You were trained to kill. You were just doing what you were told to do. Ladies. And the Dora Milaje take him off, talking about they're going to put him in the raft where no one will be able to get him. I'm guessing we'll never see him again. We'll see about that. Io was like, good job, White Wolf. But since you let him out, you probably don't want to show up in Wakanda for a little bit. Like, let some time pass by. And he's like, that's fair. But then he was like, hey, can you do me one more favor before you go? And Io was like, seriously? Like, after all this, you gonna ask me for a favor? Fine. Sam returns to Baltimore with the shield, goes to talk to Isaiah once again. And oh my gosh, this part. Whoo! This part. So we finally get more of the story of Isaiah and what happened to him. So yeah, it was basically the Marvel Tuskegee experiment. They took a bunch of black soldiers, put variations of the super soldier serum in each of them, and just put them out there in battle. And of course, some of the super soldier serums were not good for the people that they were put in. Those people kept dying off. There are only a few left. A couple of them got caught, and they were actually planning on just blowing the entire place up where they got caught because they didn't want to get any evidence out there. And of course, Isaiah was like, those were my people, my brothers, not evidence. So I went in and saved them, saved these prisoners of war so that they would not get destroyed by their own side in order to cover up what they had been doing. But in doing so, not only did those people he saved eventually die because the super soldier serum didn't work for them either, but then he, of course, got put in prison for doing that, kept him in jail for 30 years while doing all these experiments on him. The government did it, Hydra did it, everybody poking needles in him to try to figure out how he was the one that survived. The only way he was able to get out of it was that a nurse who took kind to him wrote him off as dead, made up a bunch of documents to say he had passed away so that he could get away and live his life. That's why he's been in hiding, because he's like, if they know I'm around, that's it for me. Sam's like, well, we got to tell everybody. We got to let people know what happened. And he's like, no, are you stupid? But people have changed. He's like, you think that? You think things are different now? Because you walking around with that white man shield? You think that this is my fault? You think they won't kill me the first moment I get out there? I'm like, oh my God. And then he drops it. He just drops it flat out. They would never let a black man be Captain America. And I thought that was it. And he was like, no, I got more. Hold on. They would never let a black man be Captain America. And even if they did, no self-respecting black man would ever want to take that position. And I was like, oh, God dang it. Why are you doing this? You know, even Sam was like, come on, man. You know, I'm already conflicted about this. You got to put that on me too? Damn. And it's very interesting to hear the two of them talk because they both are very aware of racism. They both are very aware of what's going on. Sam even mentioned like, hey, I'm from the South. I know what's up. But Sam just still has this idea of like, hey, man, if you do the right thing, things will get better. But Isaiah's like, nah, they used me as a guinea pig, experimented on me, and then tossed me aside, put me in prison while still experimenting on me. He's like, what do you think I was going to be, the next Captain America? You really thought that was going to happen? They've been chasing that blonde hair, blue-eyed stars and stripes for years after Steve Rogers. Oh, it's such a good moment. It's such a good conversation. It's very important because I think that's something that a lot of Black Americans feel all the time. The struggles of any Black man, regardless of generation, of being in America where you want to be right for this country while at the same time knowing this country ain't always been right for you. And that's not being woke. That's not being PC. That's just truth. And it's truth in this story as well as in life. Sam, realizing he's got a lot to think about, goes back home with Sarah to check out the status of the boat and find out they can't even sell the boat because the boat's so run down that nobody wants it because it's probably going to cost them more to fix it. So he's like, dang. I guess now we got to fix this boat so we can sell this boat. So Sam calls in some friends and family favors, talks to some people in the neighborhood, and they all work together to put the boat back together. Even Bucky shows up and helps out and even is like, hey, Sam, got you a little present from Wakanda. And he's got like this big suitcase. We don't open it yet, but he's like, that's from Wakanda, so you know it's going to be nice. You see what they did with my arm, so you know they hook you up. And then he looked over at Sarah and was like, oh, hi, Sarah, I'm Bucky. And she's like, hi, Bucky, I'm Sarah. And Sam's like, you better stop. I mean, dang, man, Bucky spent some time in Wakanda. He's like, every sister he sees, he's like, hey, what's going on, girl? You like my arm? I know it's a little cheesy, but yeah, I did like the boat fixing montage. I thought that was really cute. I especially love the parts where Sam is trying to do stuff normally and then Bucky will just come in with his super strength and just pick things up. I just thought that was a really neat thing. And then Sam was again like, but don't be talking to my sister. You better back off. We see Walker talking to Lamar's parents, paying the respects, but then Lamar's parents was like, that guy you killed Lemar, right? And Walker was like, yes, you liar. You know, I've been saying very good things about this show, but I got to give it this one criticism. I really wish Lemar didn't die. I think it would have actually been more impactful if he went down this route, if John Walker went down this route without Lemar dying. I actually think it would have been more powerful if Lemar was still alive and saw the path John Walker was going on and was like, yeah, man, I can't roll with you anymore. I'm going to go hang out with Falcon and Winter Soldier. I just wish that would have happened. I mean, you know, sacrifices have to be made, but I just feel like that some people might be like, well, he's only reason why he's doing this is because his partner died. And I think it's a little bit deeper than that. Obviously, this guy has some PTSD from his time in the war. He obviously has some anger management issues. He also has some insecurity issues, and the super soldier serum is hyping all those things up. I don't think you also need to add, and his partner got killed on top of that. I feel like there was enough there. And I feel like having his partner being like, hey, what's going on with my friend here would have made it even more like, whoa. And then if that then turned into something happened to him, you know, that's just all. I just feel like that moment of Battlestar being like, I don't know about this dude anymore would have been a really cool moment. But John Walker's still dealing with stuff, even sees a poster of himself. And again, it's just like, I am Captain America. This dude, I feel, has said, I am Captain America more times than we have probably heard the words Captain America in the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe. Like most of the time we just called him Steve. But now every single moment that John Walker has, he's like, I'm Captain America. Did I mention I'm Captain America? I am Captain America. Even though they told me I'm not Captain America, I'm just letting you know I'm Captain America. I'm like, all right. right, I'll let you be Captain America if you just shut up. But not only am I concerned about John Walker, I'm concerned about Sharon Carter, because she has a phone call with Batroc or whatever, the dude from episode 1 that Sam caught. Apparently Sharon got him out of prison and is all like, I got a job for you. And then later on we see him meet up with the Flag Smashers, being like, I'm gonna help y'all out because I want to kill the Falcon. And I'm like, is Sharon Carter behind this? Is she the power broker? Is she just evil in general? Has she turned Sharon Carter? No! Hopefully it's some bigger plan that she's setting some things up to make it all work out a way that she wants to for good. But I don't know, man. She's selling art underground. She's letting villains out of prison. And she's saying they got jobs to do. And the first thing that person says after accepting whatever job she gave them is, I want to kill the Falcon. They ain't looking good for Sharon Carter. I think she got other things going on. I guess we'll find out soon. We get Sam and Bucky passing the shield around like it's a football and having a very deep conversation. And I love it. Bucky was like, hey man, when Steve gave you that shield, I don't think either of us could have realized what it would have been like to give a black man that shield. And Sam again is like, yeah man, I know the legacy of the shield, but particularly for me, it's a complicated legacy. That's why I've always had issues about taking it on. I know people will accept me after Steve because everyone has their vision of what that legacy is. And Bucky was like, yeah, so do I, because for me, that shield meant family. Steve was the only family that I had, so that shield was representative of that family. So when I saw that shield go away, I felt like that was like my family going away too. And I'm like, Bucky, stop it, you gonna make me cry, man. But Sam's like, I'm your family. I mean, we cool and all, like, you know, don't talk to my sister. And also, we ain't partners, but I got your back. And Bucky's like, I got your back. You know, when you need to do something with these Flag Smashers, call me up, let's do this. And then Sam was like, hey man, you still having them nightmares? And Bucky's like, yeah. And Sam was like, hey man, I see you scratching names off and doing nice things for people, but maybe what you need to really do is some closure. He's like, I got a lot of people to get some closure to. I done some bad things. He's like, hey man, maybe just start with one. Get some real closure out there. That might help you. And Bucky's like, thank you. Sam was a better therapist for Bucky than a therapist. Bucky's all like, all right, I'm gonna go stay in a hotel. I'll leave you guys alone. He's like, hey man, you family, you can stay here. Don't talk to my sister, but you can stay here. And I love the part where he wakes up and he sees Sam's nephews playing with the shield, pretending like they're Avengers. And he's like, what are you guys doing? They're like, oh, put the shield away. And then Bucky all smiles like, oh, those kids. And I'm like, oh, Bucky's smiling. With all the hard work, the boat is now fixed and Sam's about to paint over the names on the boat. And Sarah's like, no, don't do it. We can't sell the boat. It's part of our family history, our legacy. And he's like, yeah, I tried to tell you. But hey, now we got a better boat. And they have a great heart-to-heart too, because Sam always had this feeling that maybe his sister thought he was running away from them when he was going off and being in the military or working with the Avengers. And she's like, no, we just knew how much of a challenge it was for you to have to accept all the world problems as well as our problems as well, and having that all on your shoulders. And we just want to be there for you as family. And I'm crying again. And then Sam was like, I got to do something. We can't have everything that happened to Isaiah just be for nothing. It's got to lead to something. And then we get that montage. We get him running. We get him flipping. We get him jumping around. We get him throwing that shield, dropping it the first time, but throwing it again and getting better. That music is playing. And then at the end, he does a big flip, grabs that shield, and we like, oh yeah, the Cap is here. And I also thought it was so cute after the montage when his nephew was like touching the shield. Aw, now he looks up to the shield because he sees his Uncle Sam doing it. Uncle Sam, aw. Karli and Batroc and all the other Flag Smashers, including some Flag Smashers who seem like ordinary average citizens, but they're Flag Smashers in disguise. Of course, the dude's got a bunch of weapons for her, and she's all like, yeah. And her partner's like, oh, wait, what are we doing here? And she's like, no, this is the only way. We have to do this. We have to do this to show them that we mean business. We're going all in. Because what they're planning on doing is attacking the GRC heads in New York because they're in the middle of a vote over what is called the Patch Act. But a lot of the countries are like, we don't have a lot of resources to deal with that many people coming back. And we don't want to just have these people herded like cattle. They're trying to agree or disagree on this Patch Act. But while they're having this meeting, the Flag Smashers are in the building. They've disguised themselves as security and staff workers, and they're in the room. And then, of course, all the computers start freaking out. The colors start turning red and the lights, the LEDs are going off. And they're like, oh, we got you now. Torres hits up Sam to let him know that they got a blip from the Flag Smashers in New York. And when Sam sees the report about the vote about the Patch Act, he's like, oh, I know where Karli is now. And then he looks over at that Wakanda case and opens it up, and we don't see what's inside because that's next episode, but there's something nice inside. Cut the credits and we're done. No, we're not. We got an after credits, baby. We see a picture of Walker and Lemar, and we hear all this, jump, jump, jump. We see all these sparks flying off, and we see John Walker working, welding, building something. And you see he's trying to make something kind of circular. And I'm like, oh, yeah. And he takes his metals and puts them on the circular item. I'm like, oh, yeah. And then he gets a star and a blue and white and red, starts painting on it. I was like, oh, this dude is making his own shield. U.S. agent about to attack. So yeah, he's like, y'all ain't gonna let me be Captain America? Then I'm gonna make my own shield. I'm gonna cosplay. And I'm gonna be the Captain America I wanna be. Here we go. The final episode is set. Let's do it. Next week is going to be insane. I can't wait to see what's going to happen. What do you think of this episode of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier? And are you excited for the grand finale? Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please subscribe. I would appreciate it. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000.